Hello and welcome to the Offcut Podcast, where Olof and I talk about craft businesses, social media, and making a living from what you create. Today, we're talking with Larsen about getting more traffic and sales to your woodworking business. Anders does a lot of the behind-the-scenes work with our coaching community, as he specializes in the more technical side. He has a background of helping Danish businesses with their digital marketing and online presence. If you're interested in the course and community we offer, please follow our Instagram at oddformula. All the relevant links will be in the description below. Okay, thank you and enjoy this episode.
Okay, today we have a special guest, Anders from Denmark. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, definitely. So to those of you that don't know who I am, I'm sort of working more on the behind the scenes for everything we do with our program, community, coaching, teaching, call it whatever you want. And I'm I'm more on the technical side of things. And I think that's, my background and how I ended up in this place is I have sort of a woodworking business with my dad as well, which is just like it's a side thing for us, just a hobby project. But that's initially what initiated this contact to Olof. And now we have this nice little three-man team.
Yeah. So we started working together. Is it half a year ago now? It's almost a year ago, I think.
No, I think it was was it back in January, I think, the first time I reached out to you?
Yeah.
And I sort of a funny story, I guess, because like I reached out because I wanted, I think I was looking for, editing tips or something for our own videos. And then I just asked you like a tip, and I don't know how, but we ended up talking about, I think you mentioned you were working on this coaching program back then, and I think you were interested in something about getting something with website in there so people could do that really easily. And I could do quite a bit of that. So I guess that's how the partnership started, and then we moved on from there.
Yeah, exactly. I felt like something so important in the program is the website part, and I didn't feel comfortable. But since you had some experience, I thought it could be a good collaboration. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So did it genuinely initially start as like a cold DM?
Yeah, it actually was. I can try and find it if we want to see it. But I think it was just like, I guess maybe I asked for. Could be if I asked if he just filmed on phone or camera, I think. But and I was surprised to see Olof reply, because I was like, shit, he has so many followers. He will never see this message, but he did.
Yeah. I often do find though leading with a question is the best way to get a response. And because like I don't know, like Olof, you must get like way more than me, but I get so many people like cold DMing me trying to offer me something, and it's just so like cold and just wanting something off you. But the ones that catch me out are when they lead with a question about something that I'm generally interested in.
Yeah, for sure. And you can see that it's towards you and not like a spam. And some people just say hi like 7 times. Hi. And hope that. Yeah, but you did it well, Anders. So, yeah.
Yeah, pretty simple. Not too much thought behind and what, but...
Yeah, so I think we should talk about how to get more sales in woodworking, because we work with a lot of people that want to sell more of their pieces, and you have become kind of an expert with it now, helping out in the community and program. So, yeah.
Sure. I think it's an interesting one, and it's one we're definitely moving more and more towards, because it's what matters at the end of the day. You know, the makers that we teach and work with, what they want is more sales. They want to make a better living from their business and from their passion. So it's definitely, I think it's one of those. I think the first part of we've been running this program since, April, March now, right? And we've been doing a lot of focus on just getting people to really get a better understanding of how do you create good content for social media and create that organic foundation. And I think that's something it's so good to have, because like what a time we live in. You have a business and you can reach thousands, millions of people for free by just posting content of your work. It's such an amazing opportunity. So I'd say that's one of the reasons that we base everything off organic, because you just have such a good foundation. You have a better understanding of what works, how do I attract attention online. The thing that's sort of a little bit difficult with organic is that let's say we have a video that gets 100,000 views. From that, there might be a lot of woodworkers in that. There might be a lot of people that just they find it interesting to see a process video. They're looking for inspiration in some kind of way. And then there might be a small bit in there that are also like, wow, this is amazing craft. This is something I would maybe want to buy in the future. But the difficult part is we can't control who we reach with it. And I think that's where, we have to move into other methods as well if we want to build a consistent flow of sales. And that's some of the stuff that we're doing now. We recently introduced a new part of our program where we'll be talking more about how you build these marketing and sales systems that do it consistently for you. And yeah, it's a little bit more advanced, and a lot of woodworkers, they've never really had experience with some of these things. What we talk about is like one of the ones could be, if you have a website, how do you get that to rank higher in Google? I mean, if you can do that, then you have a bunch of really qualified traffic that you get to your website, people that are already looking for what you have. It could also be, if you're someone that's you have some kind of budget for marketing, then you might want to do some paid ads where you can target really specifically towards the right people that have the budgets, that live in the right areas, and so on. But really just, I guess the keyword in all of if we had to say like one thing for how do we get more sales, it's to build actual systems that take people from a stranger to a customer in a very efficient way.
Yeah. Yeah, so in the beginning it was mostly content and content-based in the program, and now we have evolved it. So it feels like it's much wider now.
Yeah, definitely. And I still feel like whenever we have someone come on board, the first thing we have them do is just to nail that organic foundation, because it's so key to have that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Because without any sort of organic foundation, and even just, it doesn't necessarily have to be posting on social media. It's building out a proper website, having like your showcasing your work. Without that, then no one, especially with the if you have an online shop, no one sees what you're about. No one sees what you make. No one gets to know you and builds that sort of trust, and that might actually end up being interested in purchasing from you. So that's why it's super important to be visible about what you're doing. And often that involves not just showing your work, but showing you and the process behind your work. Because then as soon as you do that, the person can connect more with what you're doing.
Yeah, I agree.
And even if you want to start pay some like paid ads, or just focus more on SEO, if you have a solid base with good content, everything will perform much better.
Yeah, and that's an interesting point, because it's one of those things also with when you have that organic foundation, it's going to amplify the other things that you do. So it's just everything just performs better, because you're not lacking in an area and you're hitting them better on all the touch points. Sure. But we have some interesting cases on the way that we'll show on the Instagram, maybe on YouTube as well, when they're ready, about some of these things. So yeah, to those listening, definitely stay tuned for that.
So can you tell us a little bit about your own business that you have with your dad? What you guys are up to?
Yeah, definitely. It's we started it back in, what was it? Maybe like June 2024. So not a long time ago. And I think back then, I mean, my dad he's not like a craftsman like you guys are. He's just self-taught everything, and it's not his job or anything. He just does it out of passion, and he's not nearly on the level of some of you guys. But basically, we started back then, just because I think he'd started making some pieces for someone in our family, and we were just like, maybe we should try and sell some of this. And then we approached it with the idea that we wanted to be different in a way. So what we do is that we just do upcycling. So we buy old tables, old furniture, whatever we can use, and then we cut it up, and then we make it into like simple furniture pieces. So shelves, it could be a stool. And yeah, it's honestly most of those we've been moving in, and then we do some custom work as well. But yeah, as I mentioned, it's a side thing for us, and I don't craft. It's only my dad that does the craft. But we don't spend a lot of time on it anymore. I haven't made a post in since maybe May or April. And my dad doesn't have a lot of time to craft. He has a full-time job. So it's more like a fun thing we do, but it keeps itself rolling. We get sales every single month coming in, just because we created a decent foundation.
Yeah, so talk to us about how you get the sales and how you've sustained them, because without posting since, would you say May?
Probably like April, May or something.
April. Then, talk to us how you do that, because that for a lot of woodworkers, they'll be thinking, I kind of want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, and also one thing to mention on that first is that we're in a completely different price range than if you're like a full-on furniture maker and you're selling pieces for $1, $2, $3, $5, $10,000. Then it's a different story, because we sell is like in a range of, if I had to do the conversion, it's maybe upwards of like $600-700 for the most expensive pieces we sell, which is not that much in this world. So it's a different customer in a way. I think it's easier to sell more of those. It obviously is. So I think the way that we do it is that we have our website where we get a few people that just come in and buy randomly from time to time, and sometimes it's been people that have just found us through Google, and we don't have a good ranking or in the search results. Haven't put effort into SEO. We haven't really put effort into marketing at all, apart from just, I think one of the things we've done well is that we have our audience on Instagram is pretty much 100% customers. So people that could be interested in what we buy. We don't have a lot of woodworkers that follow us. We don't have a lot of people that just enjoy seeing craft. It's mostly just women from maybe 30 to 50, 60 years old that just are really interested in what we do. And
No, sorry, continue. I can take it later.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
You did a pretty good collaboration right in the start, right? That gave a lot of sales.
Yeah, that's true. I think that's the thing that helped us a lot. We were lucky to have that. We had one of my dad's colleagues. She has a profile where she does I think she shares bits and pieces from her life in her, I don't know what you call it in English. In Danish, you call it sommerhus. So it's a holiday home of some sort.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, and she just has a bunch of those women that are 40, 50 years old. And she has 20,000 followers. And we did basically a thing where my dad made a project for her for free. And in return, we got her to do I think we did a giveaway with her. So just for a small piece, it was worth, I don't know, $100 or something. And that got us the first 500 followers of people that were genuinely interested in what we did. And we sort of got the ball rolling from that. We've collaborated more with her along with time. And I think it's a really powerful thing to do. Doing collaborations with people that have just the right audience for you is it's really a good thing to do. But of course, you either have to pay for it, or there has to be some kind of value exchange, or you have to give something for free or whatever it might be. But it is really powerful because you're just tapping into that audience that's just the right one for you.
For sure, yeah. Especially if people grow audiences that are really engaged with them and are really interested in them, it's super powerful. It's like people who are content creators or they have social media followings, they sort of control the distribution now. Whereas the advertising for a content creator is super personalized compared to advertising on TV, which is like a general catch-all. So if you pick the right content creator or you grow your audience in the right way, then you have a super like direct funnel towards people that might want to buy your stuff.
Yeah. And I think there's almost like a little bit of a switch that's happening in that space, because I think it used to be a lot about just numbers, how many followers do you have? But I think some of these smaller influencers that like micro personalities that have like 10,000, 15,000, even 5,000 followers, they're really interesting because of what you mentioned, Phil. They're so like they interact so much with their audience. They're very connected, and when they sort of promote something or when they put something on that profile, the audience really it's like a stamp for them. It's like, okay, this is nice. I have to take a look at this. And yeah, just from our journey as well, some other things we did. We attended a market here in Denmark called Finders Keepers, which is like a market for upcoming designers. That was pretty good for us. We did that back in September 2024, I think. And we didn't really get any reward from it just at the market or like in the short period after, but we can see in the long run, we've gotten some customers from that. And just, I'd say the final thing that we did, which has given us customers through time, is that we have some of especially our shelves, we exhibit those in really good locations. So we have like we sell a lot of shelves to that are suited for people that really are into like ceramic cups and stuff like that. And we just exhibit some of our shelves in ceramic stores where people go to buy these cups. So basically where the customer is, we have a shelf on the wall, and then they might think as they're buying some of their ceramics, well, this is really cool. This looks nice. It's well suited for my cups. And then it's like free marketing in a way for us. And we don't pay anything for that. We lend it out to the store because they think it's a nice interior and they want it to be there. And we also have the same on a few cafes, where specifically choosing cafes where we know the audience is at. And yeah, I think that's been a good point as well. Just being really aware of who is your customer and how do they act, where do they go, how do they buy, and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's super interesting because you're effectively piggybacking off of a place where you know there is going to be guaranteed traffic rather than trying to generate it yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, it's sort of a different approach than I guess someone like you, Olof, who's just been Instagram content and been able to reach like millions and millions and millions of people.
Yeah, that's what worked for me. You gotta try what works for you, because I did some like cafes when I just started out. I put some stuff on a local cafe, and I think it made some sales for like cutting boards and stuff. But yeah, I just thought my time was better invested in focus on content and build it up that way. But I mean that maybe I've been too focused on that. It's also good to look at other alternatives like that and try to widen your stand as well. So
yeah, but I definitely also think it comes down to the thing of like what you sell is so different than to what we sell. It's so much more expensive. It's for a different customer. So I guess just being aware of who is the customer and where can we reach them. But did you use stores in the beginning at some point, Olof?
I've done that a little bit, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heavy on the profit margins.
Yeah, that's crazy. The store I used to sell to put on so if I sold a piece for 100, they sold it for like 250.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So
we had a store reach out to us at one point, and it's actually a really cool store that we would want to be in. So we were interested in it, but she charged, I think it was 40% of the profits. It didn't make sense because like my dad makes all these pieces by hand, and like he does it on the side of his job, we would never make any money on it. So it's difficult to go that route if you can't do a lot of volume, I think.
Have you done any of that, Phil, or have you also just focused on content?
I've literally just been all online. I have had a couple people in my local area ask to like showcase it in stores and sell it through stores, but it would never. The conversation never went anywhere because it would always be, "Can you do it for this price?" And I'm just like, "No, that's impossible." Like I don't know what you want me to do. It's impossible to make furniture for that much and make a profit. So yeah, it's all been online. Started through Etsy and now just through Instagram and Pinterest.
That's an interesting point that you're mentioning there, Phil. That I think a lot of people, they don't understand why furniture is so expensive. Like they see the price, they're like, "What the hell? I can get this for like a 10th of the price."
Yeah.
So yeah, that'd be a good topic to talk about, because I think some of those, there's obviously here in Denmark we have a lot of big furniture designers, and you just know, even when you're all over the world, you know that, all right, there's a reason these pieces cost so much. It's designers, it's classic designs, and they know the heritage and everything. But I guess for someone like let's say a furniture maker that's just pretty small on Instagram, they sell really expensive pieces, and they're struggling to make ends meet with it. I think that's where you really have to educate people. You have to show them, why is this special? Why should you care? Why should you pay more for this?
Yeah.
One question I have for you. You have worked with so many people now in the program, and what's the one thing that most people are missing, in your opinion?
One thing I'd say, there's a lot of people that are missing. I don't know if this is the one thing, but there's a lot of people that are missing like marketing business skills. So they're amazing at the craft, but they put all their time and focus into the craft, so they never learn how to make money with it. And I guess marketing business skills is a wide term, and it's a combination of a lot of things. So it's hard to just say one thing, but if I had to say something, I'd put it at that. I don't know what you guys think. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. And not focusing enough. Like, it depends. Some of the people we worked with, they have tried a little bit themselves. So they have tried to be out there and show themselves. But in general, craftspeople are struggling, especially from when I started out back in school. And I saw other people there. They just didn't focus enough on like getting eyes on their work. Just be out there posting.
Yeah.
And
I guess it's also, Olof, you went to school to learn the craft. Do you learn anything about the business side of things, or is it just like learning to craft?
I have had courses in business, but it was very basic and not... I don't know much that I got out of it. Maybe I did get out some information that I'm not really aware of, but no. And some of it was not really... Like, I remember one class I went to, it was a goldsmith. She made rings, and she had a class, and she showed her like pricing module, or like pricing, how she calculated her prices. And it just didn't make sense for me, because there was no room for anything else in the business. Like, you can't just make rings all the time or build furniture all the time. You also got to take care of all the other stuff, and just barely make ends meet working full-time building and selling and not focusing on anything else. Market yourself. So her pricing model was just, you should spend all your days building all the time and then sell it very cheap. So it just didn't make sense. And I think that's a bit wrong to go out in school and teach that, because it kind of teaches the people not to value their work enough. And if they start doing that already from school, in my opinion, it's wrong. And then a lot of people starting out, their craft is not perfect yet. So that could be a reason to go down until you learn the craft good enough. But you still got to be aware of your value, because you can't make a sustainable business without charging enough for it.
Yeah. I saw a post yesterday And I wanted to send it to you guys because it just spoke. It was from a furniture maker. I don't remember the name, but it spoke exactly towards like what we preach as well. It was someone that made a post about, I think it was like 5 things I wish I knew from the start running this business. And she told, I think one of the points was undervaluing her work. She thought that if she priced lower, she would get more orders coming in, but it just ended up burning them out completely. And then there was a point about thinking that having good craft and great quality furniture would be enough, like that would attract attention by itself.
I wish it was.
Those are, yeah, you'd be rich then.
Yeah, so another question about speaking to so many woodworkers and being in this world now, because you're not really a craftsman yourself, but you have worked with so many people and talked to so many people the last month. Is there anything about this world that surprised you? Like, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I think one thing that has been a learning for me, especially just like since I started working with you, Olof, was like understanding pricing better, understanding why it has to be so expensive. Because at first it didn't make sense to me. Like, how could you charge so much for something that looks simple? But once you understand everything behind it, you understand the economics, you understand the cost, the time, the effort, then it all makes sense. And that was a real surprise to me, like that it actually has to be really, I mean, I wouldn't even say highly priced, because it's the fair price for what it is. But it just has to be in order to be financially viable, unless you can do bigger volumes.
Part of communicating why things are the cost they are is, if you do like bring them behind the scenes, show them what you're doing, what the work you show them a little bit of the process, then it's easier for people to see why it costs so much. Because if you just show them the finished product, they'll have an idea of what it took to make it in their head, and then they'll put a price tag on that. And then when they see your price tag, they'll be like, oh, and their sort of gauge of price is affected by what they see out in the world, and they'll see large furniture makers or IKEA with lower prices, so they'll have their bar probably quite low. So unless you show them the man hours or the skill that goes into it, then yeah, it's hard for them to understand why the price is going to be so high.
That's a really good point. And that's where also content creation comes in, because it's a great way to just show the process and all the details. And one thing that I see from my customers is that they usually enjoy watching the process and see like, wow, there is so many hours and care put into this piece. And that makes them understand the pricing as well.
Yeah. I guess it's just another thing that speaks to why social media content is such a good opportunity. Like, you can do so much with it. And there's also, I hear a lot of people that say that they don't really see the value in content. It hasn't worked for them. They made like a couple of posts, and it's just like, if you do it right, if you do these things, if you show the value behind it, if you show the process, if you show the story behind your work, and you use it as a proper tool, then it's like, I mean, it's just hard to beat someone that does that if you're someone that does nothing at all.
Exactly. And some people that might feel unmotivated to do it is because they have a lot of jobs now. Like, they're fully booked and they don't really see the point because they have enough customers anyway. But like the guy we talked to yesterday, Anders, who is one of our programs, he got lots of jobs. He got so much to do, but he still invests the time in building up a good online presence, because he knows that it might not always be like this. So he wants a solid base to fall back to, like a security.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's always also going to be those people that just they get so much work from like referrals, word of mouth, and they're just in a spot where they don't even need to put much time into marketing, social media content or whatever. It just flows for them. And I mean, it would be nice if we could all be like that, but that's just not the case. So there's always exceptions, but yeah.
Before, in Sweden, there was only like one craftsmen in each village of each craft. So one shoemaker, one craftsman, and like one furniture maker and stuff. To become the new master, like he could have, it was one master in each village, but he could have like apprentice or like people under him. But to become the new master, if the new master died and you want to become the new master, you had to marry the wife of the dead master. So if you were like 25-year-old and the old man died, you have to marry his wife to become the master.
Is this real?
Yeah, it used to be like that. I don't know how far back, but yeah, a couple of 100 years ago, maybe. Back. Yeah,
that's nuts. What the fuck?
Yeah, everything wasn't better before.
Well, are you the master now then in your city?
I don't think so. Not yet.
Yeah. Well, then you know what you have to do.
Yeah, exactly. So, Anders, if you were a craftsman out there, what do you think they should focus on? What's the most important parts to have to do?
Yeah, I think, first of all, just as we talk quite a lot about, just getting that organic foundation. Start sharing your work. Tell the story behind what you do. Use social media. It's such a good tool to do that. And just start doing that. And you'll probably be pretty bad at it when you start out. At least if you don't have any experience or background in any of that stuff. And also just be prepared that it's something that it takes time to do. It's not like something you spend 30 minutes on a day. You have to make a committed effort to doing it, but it's very much worth it in the long run. I think we can all agree on that. And yeah, then once you have that, I would probably, of course, it's always going to depend on what's your starting point. What does your business look like, and how do you get your customers currently, and this and that. But I think for a lot of the makers that we speak to, the reason they come to us is that they want to figure out how can I get more customers, and they just don't know how to do it. So if you're someone like that, yeah, I'd say the content as the first thing, and then move into building proper marketing sales systems once you have that foundation in place. So a system that can take people from finding your Instagram as the first thing, maybe finding your website, just seeing if you're an ad or something, and then convert them to being a customer over a period of time. So it could be a month or 2 or 6 months, whatever, how long it might take. And yeah, for that, there's different ways to do it. I think we made a video recently on YouTube as well, where we talked about, I think it's called 10 different ways of getting customers as a woodworker. And it just covers different methods very, very briefly on like a top level. But that's a good one to go and take a look at. And I think that's going to give some inspiration, because there's a lot of different things you can do. And it also depends on what's your preference, what's your budget, how do you like working, and how much can you do yourself? Do you want to have someone else do it? But we teach everything about this in what we do. And I think that's sort of the gap in the market that we're trying to fill. You know, those people that they don't have a clue how to do it, or they just want some guidance, they want a plan. That's why we do what we do, to really help those people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Can you tell us about the different parts in the program?
Yeah, so the way the program is set up is that we have it in a way where it's made up of like a step-by-step video training program. So that's on the different topics. We speak about branding, we speak about website, we speak about film, photography, and editing. We talk about social media sales, a little bit about structure and workflow, and then we talk about how we build these marketing and sales systems. We talk about pricing, and I think a little bit about paid collabs as well. And it's all made up of videos on all these different topics. So within the topic of social media, there's a bunch of different things we cover. And that's sort of the first thing we have people go through, because it gives such a good foundation for the coaching to start. It makes you understand the basic principles. And then in our program, we also do weekly group coaching every single week. We do Olof, I know you do a lot of one-to-ones with some of the members, and I do a bit as well on more of the technical stuff. And then we have a really cool community as well, where I think people use it in different ways. They ask for feedback. We talked about how it's cool when people make a post and they ask for feedback on pricing. And it could be asking for feedback on videos, could be just sharing things that work for them, and then we can all benefit from it. So yeah, we have different elements that all play together to sort of help achieve that bigger goal of making a better living from your craft. Phil, I'm curious, like we talked about a little bit about Olof and how he does things, and I think a lot of people know how Olof does it, a little bit about me. So I'm interested in what has your journey been like? What is your the sales part? How has that been working for you?
So when I first started, all my traffic came from Etsy. I ranked very high on Etsy, mainly due to SEO and the type of products that I was offering. And you can get things on Etsy that are like you get promoted if you're a star seller or other things, which they're quite easy to get as long as you have good reviews, you have good like shipping time and process time, and you stick to it. That's all ways that you get ranked highly on Etsy. So I did really well on Etsy SEO, where I was getting consistent sales there. And then when I wanted to sort of move slightly away from Etsy and set up my own website, I was like, okay, I've got to build my own organic marketing for this. So that's when I started to build my Instagram. And my Instagram first started off with basically photos of my work. And then I moved to process videos of my work. And then that's sort of gone into more like creative side of videography around woodworking and now more things. But just for me, what's worked is just getting eyeballs on it. I've never directly sold gone like, oh, buy this is available to purchase, buy. Mine's been quite a passive sort of selling method of just showcasing my work. And a lot of those reels from earlier on still perform quite well and are the driver of my traffic. And yeah. And then that combined with Pinterest, where I have a lot of pins of my work, not just the videos that I post on Instagram, but the actual product photos. And that over the last 6 months has really taken off and is a big driver of traffic, which is interesting because Pinterest is, I started my Pinterest probably 2 years ago, and I see like videos of people using Pinterest really well. And I'm always just like, how do you even do it? And for me, what's worked is just consistently chucking shit up there. Getting good SEO counts as well. I copy all my Instagram posts to Pinterest like automatically, so that helps. But it's just like I don't spend any time at all like collating pin boards or doing that sort of strategy where people are like, oh, people might be interested in this topic, they'll search for that, they'll find my pin board. I just get all my content, shove it up there, and keep it like adding to it and reposting it on Pinterest, and that seems to work. It generates me about 1 million impressions a month on Pinterest.
Yeah, that was just about what I was going to say. I think I was so surprised when you shared that bit inside the community and program about how much traffic you actually got from Pinterest. Like, I think, what was it? Did you get like at one point like 2.5 million from Pinterest impressions?
Yeah. Over 2 or 3 months, it was like 2.5 million in that period, and then that's just in terms of clicks to my website and to Etsy, it results in monthly. It's like 3,000 to 4,000 clicks to my website, and then Etsy, I'm not actually sure because I don't focus too much on that anymore. But for me, it's I've just really leaned heavily into content and building a personal brand, and my sales sort of come in passively, which is maybe not the most optimal way to do it, but with where I'm sort of leaning towards and want to go in the future in terms of making it more about the content is sort of the direction I want to go. And I've got ideas for, or I've started selling one digital project, which is a LUT pack, but I haven't hard launched it yet. which I will be doing. And just by having that in my YouTube link, like it's already generating sales, which is kind of like shown me the power of digital products in a way. So that's definitely something I'm going to be focusing on for sure.
I've tried it out, and it's good stuff. It's what I use.
Yeah, and I think Pinterest it's an interesting one to speak about because it's sort of under the radar. Not a lot of people think about Pinterest, but I guess all these impressions that you're getting, is it just doing basically cross-posting from your Instagram?
Pretty much. It's pretty much mostly cross-posting. And then I'll have like occasions I'll sit down and I'll choose out photos that I think I just want to shove up there. Like product photos, and I'll put them up, and you can batch out pin posts. You can actually get really clever with it. You can do it using like an AI agent now to batch post it for you. But I literally get all my photos in a folder, and then I upload them using their batch upload, and then I go in and write descriptions for them all, and then post them. And once you get it going, especially combined with the auto cross posting, you can just it's like set and forget, leave it, and eventually it took a few months for it to start taking off. And what I noticed, what really helped, was one of my videos that did well on Instagram, that cross post to Pinterest, and that did really well. And then other pins around it and related to it started picking up as well, because the way Pinterest works is it will recommend similar stuff.
Yeah, and I guess also when you think about it, it all makes pretty good sense why Pinterest is a good option, because when people go to Instagram, they generally go there because they're looking for some kind of entertainment in a way. Yeah. Like that's what the platform's for. But when people go to Pinterest, I think it's most often for inspiration, right?
Yeah.
So it could be that they're looking for some kind of inspiration for a shelf for furniture at home. And if you have that perfect piece, then you're pretty much like these people are probably further up in like if you had a scale on how close they are to like buying something.
Yeah. For sure. It in a way is like its own product marketplace. You've getting people that are looking for inspo for their own houses, and then if they find the thing they want, they'll be more likely to buy it. It's basically like an image search engine. And also the people that are on Pinterest, they care about aesthetics and what things look like. There's a reason why they're on there. Whereas on Instagram, they're entertainment, and then some products might show in front of their face, and they might not have been actually looking for it. But on Pinterest, these people care about what things look like. So I think you also tap into that.
All right. Thanks everyone for watching.
And thank you, Anders, for coming on.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Anders.
Pleasure, man. Let's go and help some more woodworkers and craftspeople make a better living from their passion.